Hello students, welcome to the course Electrical Machine 2 again. Course code is 4E405. Myself Arun Kumar Nayak, and in the last lecture I was discussing about the circuit diagram of three-phase induction motors. So let's start with this again. Uh, I have discussed till now circuit diagram of simple RX circuit. This was the circuit that I have discussed. The circuit, it is having variable resistance and a reactance value. The current value, it is given by V upon under root R square plus X square. Then how we got the circuit diagram for this circuit for resistance varying from 0 to infinite, and we have concluded that the locus of the tip of the tip of this current phasor, it is a circle, and this is for any RX circuit with R varying from 0 to infinity. So let us compare this discussion with the equivalent circuit diagram of three-phase induction motors. So for this, what I have assumed is the induction motor, it is having no stator impedances, and also there are no stator losses are there. So the equivalent circuit of this motor, it will reduces to this. Okay, the total current drawn by the circuit will be I1, which will be equal to I2 dash. Now if I draw the circuit diagram of this equivalent circuit, comparing with the simple RX circuit, so I will get like this. Okay, so this is the voltage phasor. So the voltage I have given here, it is V1, supplied voltage is V1 per phase voltage. So phasor V1, it will be represented like this. Then V upon x2 dash, it will be B upon J time x2 dash, it will be in this direction, that is, it is lagging to this V1 phasor by an angle of 90 degree, and we will get a circle whose diameter is this, the magnitude will be V upon x2 dash. So in this case, that is in the case of three-phase induction motors, as you see the equivalent circuit diagram, that is here the term, the variable resistance, is consists of R2 dash upon S, that is the slip value here, it is varying. Let me show you the full screen view. Okay, so in the circuit diagram, this resistive part, it is varying as the slip is varying. Okay, so if the slip, it ranges from 0 to 1, we will get a circle like this. So for standstill condition, that is for slip value is 1, I am getting this diagram. Okay, in this condition, the supply voltage is V1 and current drawn from the supply, let say it is I1, which is represented by this phasor, that is OS, and making an angle of theta 1 from the voltage phasor. So power input at this condition, it will be given by, that is the total power, three-phase power, it will be given by 3 times V1 I1 cos theta. So at this condition, what is the current? The length OS, or you can say the magnitude of the current, it is represented by this line OS. So P in will be 3V1, this is OS, this is OS, and the power factor angle, that is theta 1. So OS cos theta 1 can be replaced from this triangle. OS cos theta 1, it will be replaced by length SM, because this will be the cosine of this hypotenuse. So as the voltage value it is constant, the length SM, it will indicate the power input to the motor. I repeat, for constant value of voltage, the length SM, it will be equivalent to the power input to the motor at standstill condition. Now, as we know from our earlier discussions, the air gap power, that is PAG, it is equal to 3 times I2 dash square times R2 dash upon S. So if you put for standstill condition, if you put sleep equal to 1 here, so you will get air gap power will be equal to your 3 times I2 dash square times R2 dash. So you can see here this expression, it is equivalent to the rotor copper losses. So what is the conclusion from here we are getting is, at standstill condition, that is in this condition, when this current phasor it is making an angle of theta 1 from the voltage phasor, the rotor copper losses will be equal to the air gap power. So from this we can conclude that at standstill condition, the motor it is not delivering any mechanical torque, or you can say not delivering any mechanical power output, okay, to the shaft, because at this condition the rotor copper losses are directly equal to the air gap power. Okay, so this SM length, it represents also the air gap power at standstill condition. Also it will represent the rotor copper losses, and also the torque in synchronous watt, because you know the torque expression, it can be related to power. So here it is air gap power is equal to rotor copper losses. So a torque it can be given by torque also. So proceeding further, now this was the previous diagram. So I want to estimate or the copper losses when the motor it operates at any general slip S. Okay, so let it be this point on the circle diagram. So at this point it is represented by P on this diagram. So this length OP, it represent the magnitude of current taken by the motor at that time, and this theta 2, it will represent the power factor angle. So this is the sleep value at this point. So this angle, it will be equal to this angle, because these lines are parallel lines, because this is the line this is perpendicular to this OC. Okay, so here the OP length, it can be given by the current drawn, and this current drawn power drawn can be given by 3 times V1 times OP cos theta 2 at this condition, and this OP cos theta 2, it can be replaced by this length, that is Pn. Now in this case, the power drawn, it will be equal to this length Pn, as V1 is constant. Now what about the rotor copper losses? So rotor copper losses at any general slip, that is at this point, upon rotor copper losses at slip 1, which is at standstill condition, it will be given by the magnitude, this magnitude OP square times R2 dash, that is I square R, the copper losses, upon, again at standstill condition, this can be given by OS, this length OS square, because this is the length of the current, the magnitude of current. So OS square upon, sorry, OS square multiplied by R2 dash. So this R2 dash and R2 dash will be cancelled out. So rotor copper losses at any general slip upon rotor copper losses at any at slip 1, it can be given by the respective current. It is given by OP square upon OS square. Now we'll use a very important concept here from geometry. As we know that in a circle, if you draw a chord like this, that is OA, here it is a chord, and this is the diameter of the circle. Now from this point A, if you draw perpendicular to this diameter, now this length OA square, it can be given by this length OM times OC. This can be proved very easily. This is a very popular equation that we have used in our school days. Okay, when you solve the problems of geometry, you can prove like this. You consider these triangles, that is OAC, triangle OAC, the bigger triangle, and this smaller triangle OAM. In these two triangles, these two triangles are similar, and similarity of these triangles can be proved. You consider for this bigger triangle, this angle, it will be 90 degree, and this smaller triangle, it will be again 90 degree. Now this angle, it is common for both the triangles. So for angle symmetry, we can say these two triangles, this bigger triangle, that is OAC, and this triangle OM, they are similar in nature. So for as these triangles are similar, now I can write from the similarity that in this bigger triangle, the side, this side, it is opposite to this angle. So OA upon, now you consider the smaller triangle upon this angle is similar to this, so this side OM, it is opposite to this angle. So OA upon OM will be equal to OC, which is opposite to this right angle in the bigger triangle, upon OA, which is opposite to this right angle in the smaller triangle. Now from this we can obtain easily that OA square, if you cross multiply, you can find OA square will be equal to OM multiplied by OC. So we are going to use this expression in our circle diagram that we have obtained. Okay, so now we obtained that rotor copper losses at slip S, that is at point P, this for this operating point, upon rotor copper losses at slip 1, that is this operating point S. Okay, this will be equal to OP square upon OA square. So now from here I can write OP square, that is in this triangle, I can write this will be equal to ON times OC, using the previous result, that is this one. Look at carefully. OA square will be equal to OM multiplied by OC. Here also in triangle OPN, OP square can be written easily, that is equal to ON times OC, upon in this triangle, that is triangle OSM, it can be written as OM times OC. Now OC it get cancelled out, then remaining sides will be On upon Om. Now from here, if you consider this bigger triangle, that is triangle OSM, and this smaller triangle OGN, these triangles are again similar in nature. So from here I can write, in this smaller triangle, ON can be replaced by this side, that is GN, and in the bigger triangle, that is OM, can be replaced by this SM. So we are getting GN upon SM. Now from here I can write GN will be equal to OP square upon OS square times SM. Now this equation, it can be further rewritten as OP square times SM upon OS square. Now what is this part? Look at this carefully, SM upon OS square. So what is this? In this, when the motor it is at standstill condition, this is the current square, that is OS square, and this part, that is SM. Okay, so this represents the copper losses at that time. So what is the copper losses? It is OS square times R2 dash. Now if you put SM as OS square times R2 dash, so OS square and OS square, it will get cancelled out, so the remaining portion is R2 dash only. So this GN can be written as OP square times R2 dash, that I have written here, that is DGN will be equal to OP square dot R2 dash. So this is the condition of GN that we have obtained at slip, any slip S. Okay, this is any general slip, this is the condition we are getting. So moving further, what are the conclusions that we can draw from this discussion? The GN, it represents, look at this figure carefully, GN, it represents the copper loss at operating point P, that is at slip S, from this equation GN. So OP square, this is the current, and this is R2 dash, this is the resistance, rotor resistance referred to stator side. So this is again the copper loss at this operating point P at slip S. Another conclusion we can draw from here, PG, that is this length, it represents the gross mechanical power output at slip S, at general slip S, because this GN, it represents the copper losses, and PN, it is the total input power to the machine, to the motor. So if you subtract GN from PN, you will get PG, and this represents the gross mechanical power output. So this is the circle diagram when we assumed that stator, there are no stator impedances and there are no stator losses are there. Now in our next lecture we'll discuss what will be the complete circle diagram of three-phase induction motor when we'll consider the stator impedances, stator losses also. Thank you.